It is the fastest 20 minutes of the week on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network. It's the most exhilarating. You're looking at the best sports gambling podcast in the country right now. The NFM Picks Pod with Williams and Blum and our buddy Tim Mullen from Nebraska Furniture Mart and Clive. We're just having a great year. We're having a great year on the podcast. It's funny because on my two guys show we do our locks of the week segment, and I'm horrible. I'm doing terrible. And I was explaining to Chris Hassel today that no, I'm having one of the best years of my life. It's just when you have to give out ones, I overthink it and I F myself up. If you're listening to this podcast on a weekly basis and just blindly following us three experts, you're making a lot of money. How are we doing today, gentlemen? We'll start with you, Tim Mullen. What is up?
Cita, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we are all well above 500. I will tell you after last week's games, I did have the better week, which tied me with you.
All right.
You and I are okay both in first place, but, one game behind us is Mr. Brent Blum, and he's 24-19, and we're 25-18. 7 games.
Great. That's great. We've been doing this a long time. This is the best year we've all had collectively, and it's not close.
It's not even close.
I don't know the games yet. I don't know the games yet this week, but I'm feeling 6-0.
Oh. Okay. Bloom's calling a shot. He's calling a shot.
I do. Don't tell you guys. Well, let's be honest. I put the games together. It's actually how I do it. Once I've done our calculations for Saturday, which is usually Sunday when I'm watching football because I want to know how I did. I do start looking at next week's games, but I always go back through today because I want to get the most up-to-date spreads.
That's a good move, veteran move by Tim Mullen.
And let the record reflect, this isn't like fake numbers. Like there used to be a radio show host in Des Moines who would very much inflate his numbers by bad lines or made up lines. And
are you talking about me?
No, I'm like, this is pre you, buddy.
I was gonna say because
no, not you.
No,
this is not you.
Don't accuse me of that.
We're going like mid 2000s. Before him even. Well, he was probably a victim too. But the big political guy now used to very much inflate his numbers, and it drove me nuts because, anybody can. No, this is legit. This is the real deal, everybody.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So what, he gave himself more of a spread to make himself look better? Or?
Yeah. I got the line on Sunday, and it changed. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
The thing is, too, it's like it used to be way easier to fool people with that. Well, now you just open up your phone and you get live. Right, if there's a move in an Iowa or an Iowa State point spread, I get a notification because it's important. Not for gambling, but just with what I do, I pay attention to that. Well, why'd the blind move 2 points? What happened? Who's hurt? Right? You look at it from that standpoint.
For some reason that had been bothering me for 21 years, and
I'm glad that you. Was it Lee Sterling? Is that who you're talking about?
No, the big political guy. That's now was on WHO for a while. He was on KXNO. He now owns a podcast. Steve Dace.
Oh, Dace.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think of Dace as a political guy. I just think of him as a talker. It's funny. I was thinking who's in politics. I was thinking is there a governor? I didn't know who you're talking about. Yeah, Dace would.
Funny because I don't think of him as a sports guy anymore.
Well,
I just think of him as a talker. I don't necessarily know if he's politics.
That had been bothering me for 21 years. And again, I appreciate Steve's talent. The whole gambling thing was no, dude, that's not how it works.
Yeah. No. Well,
I'm glad to have helped Ben your therapist.
Thank you. I feel way better already, guys.
Right. Blum's had that. That's been stuck in his craw for a long time.
Yeah. Good job.
Well, we had a great holiday at Nebraska Furniture Mart, and we are moving on to a big Veterans Day sale.
We are, guys.
Tell us about it. What do we got?
Yeah, so good stuff coming again, and appreciate everybody that showed up. We had another great spooktacular event this last Saturday. But yeah, it continues to impress me how we're getting the word out about these community events. Just again,
they're awesome, man.
And thank you, Chris. I know you guys have attended with the kids in the past, and it's just more. We just want to offer back and say thanks for the patronage. I mean, it goes back to Mrs. B and her theories of take care of the community that takes care of you, and we love doing it for the kids. It was a great time. We had a great turnout. So,
well, thanks for doing it. Let's talk about this Veterans Day sale. What do we got coming up?
So Veterans Day sale starting off on the 1st. I mean, there is just a myriad of stuff. I actually had to keep it up so I could read it because normally I just try to memorize it. But We have great deals. Furniture not here in our store, but you can get it on the web. It can be delivered to you here. So if you're looking for furniture, go take a look at that stuff right now. But we still have tiered offers on TV, home video. We do have the fitness. Our fitness department is up and going.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. We actually have more still coming in, but we got a selection of about 12 pieces of equipment on the floor right now.
What brands are you guys working with there?
Bowflex is a big one. We have some iForm stuff out there.
That stuff's awesome.
That I remember right off the top of my head.
Yeah. The iForm's the one with like the mirror, right?
No.
Okay. What is iForm then? I was thinking it was like
I have an iForm.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Tell us about it.
I have an iForm.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, my lovely wife Krista worked at NFM, so she's like, "You need a treadmill," which is a nice way of saying, "Hey, dude, like."
Oh, it's a treadmill. Okay.
Yeah.
It can be.
They have all sorts of devices. Anyway, it is great quality. I've had it now for 12 years, and it's just like brand new.
All my weights are Bowflex. That's a great brand. They make they're like freaking tanks, man.
And very reasonably priced. Yeah.
Have you seen the dial-a-weight stuff where it's just one rack and you can put your weight on it? And
yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's really cool stuff that they're getting into, and we're starting to carry. We'll continue to grow this as we go because we want to carry, accessories, wearables, just everything you're going to need for your fitness journey. And we want to be a part of that, but being educated on the pieces and being able to help understand them. And I actually, we just set it to the floor, everything on Tuesday. And I sent my sales manager know about some upcoming advertising. He said, hey, we've already sold a couple. So
good.
We're pretty excited about that traffic, but then there's still, appliance tier offers in place. There's just, when it comes to Veterans Day, it's something we take seriously. Our everyday veterans pricing is actually percentages lower than we sell it for every single day. So if we're matching a competitor, we're going to go ahead and put it even lower for veterans benefits. So it's not just this 10% off, something our company put some real work into a couple of years ago to fix. So good things there, but there's, still financing and everything. So just come in and see us for whatever your needs are, holiday needs. But if you're looking for that great presence for yourself, because again, unless they ask for it, don't buy a wife a treadmill.
I will say this: don't do it for your wife, for yourself or your husband. Or we have a lot of ladies that listen. Like I could test. Like I'm down almost 30 pounds in 7 or 8 months.
Yeah,
it's because I have a home gym.
Yeah,
if I had to drive, I wouldn't have done it. Honestly, I just think that like with our busy lifestyles and more people work from home than ever, like I think it's a smart investment by NFM to get into this game because I wouldn't want to own a Planet Fitness.
100%.
Honestly, like I'm nothing against what they do, like in the cities and stuff. I'm sure those are great, but like.
But by the same token, it's like you said, it's better to go and do like 15 minutes a day versus nothing.
Exactly.
You could go walk into the room next door and go do that.
I do the same thing. Yeah,
it's a great advantage.
I work out every day, but it's rarely for more than 30 minutes. But it's because it's the next door.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah. So happy to help people out. We also offer delivery and installation, full put together of product and everything. So we're all ready for anybody that wants to come and do it. And I got to watch some of the process of putting those together this week for the displays. It can be done on your own, but they're a lot easier when somebody knows what they're doing and gets them done faster. So
I wish you guys would have been doing this about 2 years ago when I built that gym. Jesus. Putting together that weight rack was a disaster, but I got it done.
Good job. Very proud of you. And it's still standing.
I about died. I about died, but it got done. Well, death, we have no fears. We don't fear death. We don't fear going 0-6. We are shooting for 6-0 here on this week's picks. Not a great slate of games. I will say that. This is probably the worst week of the year.
I had to stretch, but then I found, again, some little nuggets of fun within some spreads and things like that.
I will say our underdog parlay would not have done well last year. Our big dog, and I bet all of them individually, and I had a bad week.
Yeah.
But
hey, good job on your Notre Dame pick.
Thank you. I was just say, what about the Notre Dame pick?
Yeah, you got. Yeah, you know what? Great work, Brent. In that you're still in last. So good job. Tim, what do we got this week, my brother?
What about my great pick on BYU?
Elite. Great job. Okay. You went contrarian and
you know what?
Off,
I feel dirty self-grandizing like some other people do. It feels dirty. Some people don't mind it.
Yes, some people love to point out when they were right and everybody else was wrong, and they do it all the time.
Yeah.
ABC. Always be closing.
Coffee.
Right,
get
to the damn game.
Okay, here we go. First pick of the week. Back at Kinnick Stadium, a 3-point favorite. Actually, a Big Ten game. Wisconsin versus Iowa. I've been pretty negative on the Hawks this year. I'm seeing Sullivan as the first string quarterback. I'm not sure if that's going to be the whole game. What happens? I'm hearing that Cade has an injury, but it didn't
sounds
seem
like a concussion. So
yeah. Regardless, safe, hope speedy recovery for him. But I like the energy brought in. 3 points. I think they can handle that, and I like Iowa at home here. What do you got, Blum?
Yeah, I agree. I just think at the run game, and Wisconsin's been better, but still not there yet. I think this game should be closer to 6, not 3. I'll take the Hawks.
I will triple that. Take Iowa to win this football game. The only thing that would give me hesitation is supposedly Marco Lainez is out for some reason. I don't know what that means, but he's not available. If McNamara is not available, will they put shackles on Brendan Sullivan and because they're afraid of him getting hurt? Chris Hassel pointed that out to me.
That's interesting because he hasn't really thrown the ball.
No, he's a thrower. I don't think he's any better than McNamara.
His numbers were equal to that. He's just better on his feet and can get out of trouble.
So that would be my only hesitation here. If they let him do what he does, I like Iowa by 10.
Okay. All right. Next game, gentlemen. I like this one because of the spread and because when I went and looked at the records, but we have the Blue Devils of Duke University going to Miami, number 5, 20-point road dogs. I love this game, and I'll hear you, and then I'll tell you why. What do you got? Let's go C-Dub first.
I'm going to take Miami.
Okay.
I did bet Duke and made some money on them last week on like an 11-point spread. Duke is down like 3 starters, I want to say up front offensively, something like that. It feels like Miami and like they're getting a little squirrely down there, almost like to the point where they're like pissy with everyone. They're running their mouths at Florida State and Florida in the post game. They've been very underwhelming as an undefeated team, but I think that Duke's in. I don't know. This feels like this is one of those spreads that we've had a bunch of these this year where it's like, why is it so high?
Yep.
I don't understand it. To me, like the no-brainer is to play Duke, so I'll take Miami.
Blum, what do you got here, buddy?
I feel like this was every game last week. You're like, what am I?
I got burned last week. I'm not going to do it now.
Yeah. I know Duke's banged up, but I don't think Miami's defense is good enough. I think I don't know. I'll take Duke.
Yeah,
Tim, you got the read on this game. We don't. What do you got?
Here's the thing. It's simple math here. It's transitive property math, so to speak. But I mean, Duke's only lost 2 games, and both games are by less than 10 points. I mean, they're in every game. And
they don't beat themselves. Those
they
Duke
don't.
teams,
and they've put up some points before, not a lot. But I think it's to the point where I'm not sure Miami is a complete enough team to be a 3-touchdown lead on a team that only has 2 losses and less than 10 points in each loss. So I'm looking at it from that direction. And when you're giving me 20, that's 3 touchdowns. I'll take the points as well. And I like Duke here.
I'm just a big fan of those Cavender twins, big women's basketball fan here. So I want to take Miami.
That's completely unrealistic logic. And that makes sense for you. Kansas State going on the road to Houston, 13.5-point favorite here at Houston. Bloom, what do you got?
Oh, I'm going to selfishly, because I want to root for him here. I love Willie Fritz. This is a big, come on, Willie. This is a big come on, Willie game for the Iowa State fan base. So come on, Willie. Give me Houston.
Okay.
Separation Saturday. I'm going to take Kansas State. I really, really agree with Brent. This will be a game there. I hope I'm wrong. How about that? And if Kansas State blows them out, then I win.
Yeah, my dad used to say, "Wish in one hand and do something in the other, and see which one fills up first."
Yep.
I think K-State's going to throttle these guys. I don't.
I
went back and looked at Houston's season, and I don't see anything anywhere that would resemble where they're going to put up a fight with K-State. I just don't.
Yeah,
I love it at 13.5. I probably would have bet it at 14.5, but 13.5, 2 touchdowns cover. Love it.
I'm with Brent. I'm hoping. I
Well,
feel like
you want that to happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with
it's
you.
Emotional hedging, gentlemen. That's what it's called.
Yeah, no, here's the honestly realistic analysis here, other than just my hopes and wishes and aspirations.
Okay.
Is I think Houston can slow them down enough, and I don't think K-State's lights out on defense at all. And so I'm looking at this, guys. Can Houston get to 17? I think so. And so I like this, honestly, like 28-17 K-State. I mean, that's within the number.
I love that logic from you, Blum. That's always my favorite. That and this team's always better. I'm just going with the better team.
I think K-State's very good. I don't think they're untouchable though. And Avery, all it takes is Avery to throw a bad pick, and Houston's right in that game.
It's the Rocco Beck UCF thing. I mean,
very much so.
How do you have 566 yards and feel like you weren't very good on offense and score 38 points and barely win? Well, you give it to him. So that's what Avery can do. That's what he can do.
How about this insight? Who has K-State already played this year that has connections to Willie Fritz?
Tulane.
And that game was really close. Do you think Tulane would talk to Willie? Potentially. I don't know.
I think they would. Yeah. Isn't one of his old assistants the coach?
I think so, yeah.
K-State averaging 36 points a game, Houston averaging 15 points a game.
There you go. Suck on that, Bloom.
Yeah, Bloom. You want some logic and
Cats by 30.
That's right. Next game, gentlemen. We're getting into some juicy big top 25 games. We're going to start off with Pitt on the road at SMU. SMU favored by 7.5. Give me SMU Mustangs all day here. I think it's going to be like 2 to 3 touchdown win by SMU.
Yeah, keep an eye here on the quarterback situation for Pitt. He's been great this year. He might not be playing in this game. So,
well, if that's the case, then I want SMU.
Yeah, I'm going to take SMU for that same reason. Holstein's the quarterback's name.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the glue to that team. Like in there, if he's not playing, it's like absolutely not.
And I don't know that for sure, guys, but I think he.
So you're telling our audience check that before you place a bet.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And we have, I believe it's a night game here, gentlemen. Pretty confident here. Yeah, we're one of the latest games in the afternoon. It's a 7:00 kick, so make sure you double check that. So you are both with SMU right now, or Pitt?
SMU for me.
I would play Pitt if they have their quarterback. They
got good news yesterday, is what I'm reading, so he's probably going to play.
Okay, give me Pitt. I will take Pitt.
All right.
I definitely want Pitt if they have their quarterback. Give me a touchdown. Absolutely.
Biggest game of the season so far, Big Ten wise, number 3 Penn State hosting the Buckeyes of Ohio State, ranked number 4, and a 3.5 point home dog. So who picks what time a game is going to be? Is it the home team?
TV.
No, it's TV. TV does all that.
I was like, how the hell Penn State did not put this at a night game blows my mind. But it's an 11 a.m. kick, and almost solely because of that, I'm taking Ohio State. I don't know how there's going to be any buzz. I mean, look, they'll be excited. Don't get me wrong. But the energy would be so much more intense than even a 2:30 game or 6:30 game. But 11 o'clock game, they got to, cross over a state or two and go see them. It's not a big travel thing. I like Ohio State here on the road at Penn State to get right after barely winning last week.
Well, we're going opposite on a lot. I'm going to take Penn State in this one. We do have a quarterback deal, right? Like with the Aller situation again. Mm-hmm. Where do you have it at, Tim? 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's baked in with him. Probably, I don't know. I'll put it this way. I think that Ohio State is underachieving, but this feels like a point where they can still lose this game and they still will make the playoff. There's no doubt in my mind. Yes, at 10-2, if their losses are at Oregon and at Penn State, they will still make the playoff at 10-2.
The question is, C-Dub, would they play in the Big Ten championship?
It doesn't matter. They would be better off to not play in the Big Ten.
Correct. I'm saying if they lose the Big Ten championship and they have 3 losses, then they're on the
That's
bubble.
a different. Then they're probably out.
Okay.
Right.
I think they would, because I think if you're a 2-loss Big Ten team, you're not going to get into that championship game with 3 undefeateds right now.
Yeah, that's this is why the whole thing could be dumb. Is Ohio State's better off not playing in the Big Ten championship?
I think they will go.
Well, they're better off playing in it and winning it.
Correct.
They're hoping they play in it and lose it.
But No doubt. I guess my point is, I think they're down to like a third string tackle on the line right now. Like, I don't like Will Howard. I never have.
Yeah.
I like the other aspects of this, but I think this James Franklin's team's really good, right? Like, they just keep figuring it out. That atmosphere is going to be second to none. Even if they lose, like, I want the field goal in a hook here. I just want the home team and the points. That's where I land.
I'm conflicted because I watched Ohio State, Nebraska, and Ohio State looked like
they seem off. Like
they did not look good at all.
I don't know if it's
ordinary
chemistry, if it's weird. Like he's freaking out on the sidelines. Like it's a bizarre situation.
That said, I think with the quarterback uncertainty with Penn State and the dudes that Ohio State has on defense, like there's no doubt they've got dudes.
So I'm lining up with two questionable quarterbacks this week.
I'm going with I'm not a huge Will Howard guy either, but I like him more than a question mark. I'll take Ohio State here actually by 7.
All right.
7-10.
Good. I'm gonna have a big lead after this week.
Bloom, you're on your own right now. 3 games, C-Dub.
It's a bad.
Let's see where we sit after the home team conversation here. Texas Tech at number 10. Iowa State, 13.5-point favorite at home. What do you got here, Bloom?
I think this, I talked about on the podcast yesterday, I think this sets up a lot like the Baylor game, wherein Iowa State's offense is just going to be really hard for them to stop. They've got injury situations there. I think Iowa State had 10 days to recalibrate and like, hey, man, we were not great. That was the scare it needed. Rocco's not going to play that poorly again. It sounds like Higgins and Knoll are fine. I think Iowa State scores a bunch of points here. I like Iowa State to cover the 13 for sure.
Yeah, this is where it doesn't scare me, but you and me are dead on with this game. Coming off the bye, Tech I'm not even worried about the Tech quarterback. I don't know how much that's going to matter. It's more they're into backups in the secondary where they are already terrible. Backup offensive lineman, Iowa State off of a bye. I think Tech will score points. I had this game 45-24, which was my prediction. So that's a high-scoring football game where I do think Iowa State will give up points. I think that the defense is going to be suspect in that second level for a while. But I don't think Tech can stop Iowa State consistently. And I think Rocco Beck in that offense have 600-plus yards on Saturday. I really do.
38 points a game Tech is averaging right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you said who's hurt on that? Offensive line's hurt?
They got lineman down, and then they have a questionable quarterback.
Okay.
But their backup's pretty good. I'm not reading too much into the quarterback situation.
I'm going with you, gentlemen, here. 13.5, 2 touchdowns. If I had the hook the other way, I'd probably ride the other way just to feel safe about it being more than that. But 13.5, I like the scare they got as well. It's I don't know if you know this or not, I'm a Chiefs fan. But I had someone ask me the other day if I thought they'd go undefeated, and I go, I hope not. Every team needs a good scare once in a while.
No doubt.
The hubris can take over when you've won so many games. You just think you can't lose. To be reminded of that. And again, I said this to you guys last week, or I don't know if it was off air who I was talking about, but, the scare they had, that's the sign of a team that, when you could come back from that, that's more impressive to me than when you go blow somebody out by 3 touchdowns because you're just clearly superior to them. But to have the intestinal fortitude to come back with that, that's pretty impressive. So I think that team's ready to go on a run right now. So I'll sit with you guys as well. So we're all together on that one. C-Dub, you're on your own for 3 right now.
Tim, did we pick every game together?
No, I took K-State. You took Houston.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You
guys with your heart, not your head.
You guys got in a big fight about the Kansas State-Houston game, if you didn't forget about that.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a fight. I listed facts, and he listed hopes. So
yeah, well, that's Bloom for you.
Let's put it this way. I might lose it, but I don't know. If
My God, we're going to have fun going down.
If you were going to listen to statistical analysis, I would have paid attention to what I said, not just Bloom going, I hope this happens.
Come on, Willie.
I hope that you guys go to Nebraska Furniture Mart this weekend and do some shopping. How about that?
I would appreciate that. It'd be nice to see everybody out here. It's getting cold and gloomy out. Shopping season, as we call it. It's not so fun to be outside.
TV time, baby. TV time. It's time to get on your rears, and you can you just sit and watch TV, and then you're going to go work out with that new Bowflex that you get at Nebraska Furniture Mart. That's a endorsement if I ever did hear one. He is Tim Mullen. He is Brent Blum. My name is Chris Williams. Picks of the week here. Williams and Blum with Tim Mullen from Nebraska Furniture Mart. We'll be back next week here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.